Let fx equal to x square, and domain I'm defining, this domain is from 0 to 5, let's say 0 to 5, and we are going to discuss about the increasing function. See, you observe one thing. If I want to draw the graph, then I can draw like, I'll take some point of xy. So if I take x equal to 1, then y will be 1. If I take x equal to 0, then y will be 0. If I take x equal to 2, then this is 4, and if 3, then this is 9. And if I want to draw it, then you can see the graph, how this graph will be looking like. So x equal to 0, this is 0 point, x equal to 1, so this is the another point, x equal to 2, then y equal to 4. Now this is this point, then or you can say this is 3, then 2, then 4 I can take here, 3, then 9, like this. So the graph will be going like this. Now the interval is given 0 to 5. So let's say this is the point x1, and here there is some other point, let's say this is some, you can say this is x3, and we can take some point here, let's say x2. So there are now infinite points on this graph, but we are taking only just few points. So now you can see, if you can, here in the graph you can see this is x-axis, this is y-axis. If I say that x greater than x2, and this is quite obvious, then you observe the value of, this is fx1 and this is your fx2. So now I'm here just clearing it more, this is your fx2. So now just observe, your fx1 is smaller than your fx2. So you are getting this condition that fx1 greater than fx1 is, this is x2, you can see this x2 is greater than x1, and now you can see fx2, the value of fx2 is also greater than the value of fx1. So it is the case for all other points also. If I say that x3 greater than x2, you can also see in even in this time that fx3 will be greater than fx2, because this is your x3 fx3 and this is your fx2. So value of y is fx2 is greater than value of fx2. So now we are coming to the conclusion or the definition of increasing function. That definition says, if you take any point x1 and x2 in the domain, now we are in a position to at least define what is increasing function. So increasing function is, we can define, let fx be a function in AB and x1 comma x2 belongs to AB such that x1 x2 greater than x1. Then if it let f be a function in AB and x1 x2 belongs to AB such that x2 greater than x1. If fx2 greater than fx1, we say fx is a strictly increasing function. So just I am repeating this again. Fx is a continuous is a function, you can say continuous function also in AB, and x1 comma x2 belongs to AB, means these are the 2 points in the domain such that x2 greater than x1, and if fx2 greater than fx1, we say fx is strictly increasing function. And we can you can observe few more things also that we'll discuss after defining this definition for decreasing function as well. So let's say for decreasing function, let's say fx, I'm taking the same function x square, but now this time I'm changing the interval, and interval we are taking this from -1 to -5 to 0. Now you can see, if I want to draw the graph of this function, then I can draw this easily. as I've drawn this earlier. So graph will be going like this, and this is let's say this is x3, and let's say this is x2, and let's say this is x1. So now we can observe few things, and what are the things that you can see? Let x3, this is less than x2, because this is the negative side, so x3 will always be smaller than x2, and if it implies that fx3 is less than it's greater than fx2, or you can see the case here, this is your fx2 and this is your fx3. So this is quite obvious that fx3 is greater than fx2, because this is square function. If you put some, you can take some example, this is -5 for example, so -5 square is 25, and if it is 3 minus 3 x2 equal to -3, then this will be -3 square, which is 9. So obviously fx3 greater than fx2. So, or you can take some another point also you may say that x2 is less than x1, but fx2 will be greater than fx1. You can see here, this is your fx1 and this is your fx2. So obviously this is more height, this has more height, so it's bigger. So now if we are getting such a situation like this, then we say that function fx is decreasing in its domain, or we can now formalize the definition also. Fx, let fx be a function in, you can say this again closed interval, so we can say any interval ab, and x1 comma x2 belongs to ab, and you can say this x2 is less than x1, and this is point such that x2 less than x1, and if fx2 it comes greater than fx1, then we say fx is a strictly decreasing function in its domain. Similarly, you can say this also, in its function in its domain. So this is the basic definition of increasing function and decreasing function. Now this is the same function, fx equal to x square minus 5 comma 0. This is the domain. Now if I take any point randomly, let's say this is the point, this is x1 comma fx1, and this is x2 comma fx2. So if this is the situation and I want to draw the tangent, so I can draw the tangent at this point. So this is my tangent and this is the angle, let's say this is theta 2, and this is another tangent at point this x1. So let's say this is my another tangent and this is making angle theta 1. So this is very important observation, that if your function is, this is your decrease, this is your when you change. Now observe few more important things. Can you think of tan theta 1 and tan theta 1, this is your theta 1, and this angle is more than 90 degree. This is, you can see this very clearly, this is the obtuse angle and more than 90. So tan theta 1 is going to be negative, and similarly tan theta 2 is also going to be negative. So very important observation comes, if a function is decreasing function, that fx is a decreasing function, is a strictly, you can say strictly decreasing function. This is strictly decreasing function. And what's happening with the slope? You see that slope at point x1 is coming tan theta 1, which is negative. At x2 this is also coming negative, as tan theta 2 is will be negative, because this is the angle will be obtuse, means more than 90 degree and less than 180 degree, and this is the second quadrant. So theta 1 and theta 2, basically you can say theta 1 theta 2 lies in the interval, you can say this is pi by 2 to pi. So if this is the case, your tan thetas will always be negative. So here very important definition comes out, right? If you want to check that fx is an increasing function, then the differentiation will be negative for, like we can write this, let fx be a strictly decreasing function, then f dash x will always be less than 0 for all x belongs to domain. So this is very important definition that you can keep in mind. Okay, next we come to for another definition of increasing function. Now this is the case that we have taken earlier also, and this is, let's say this is the point x2, so this point will be x2 comma fx2, and let's say this is the point x1 comma fx1. So again, if I want to draw the tangent, I can draw the tangent here again. You can say this is my first tangent and this is making angle, this is, let's say this is theta 2, and this is the tangent. If I want to draw here, you can see this is another tangent and this angle is theta 1. In both the angles, you can see theta 1 and theta 2 are less than 90 degree. So I can say that theta 1 theta 2 belongs to your first from 0 to pi by 2. Pi by 2, not exactly pi by 2, so you can take this open interval 0. This also can be taken like open interval, or you can take like this also. This is open intervals. So you can see if theta 1 and theta 2 are in the first quadrant, then your tan theta 1 will be greater than 0, tan theta 2 will also be greater than 0. So what we are observing, like if fx is an increasing function, and this fx, again this is fx equal to x square in, we can take 0 to 5. So this is again an increasing function, and what's happening with the slope, like we can write this, let fx be a strictly increasing function, then f dash x is always greater than 0 for all x belongs to its domain. So this is the another definition basis on the differentiation, and we'll do the practical questions also so that you can understand this definitions very well. But this is quite obvious that you can observe, and somewhere this increasing decreasing function is linked to the mean value theorem also. You can have, you know, your thought how it is linked with your. Now we'll see that at a point how a function is called a increasing function and a decreasing function. So fx is strictly increasing function at x naught if fx is strictly increasing in the open interval x naught minus h, x naught plus h, and this h is very small positive value. Fx is strictly decreasing function at a point x naught if there is an interval, open interval x naught minus h, x naught plus h, in which function is decreasing function. So this is the definition of increasing function at a point, and this is a definition of decreasing function at a given point. If I do the derivative of this function, then f dash x will be equal to 0. So you can also judge on the basis of the differentiation. If your differentiation of the function comes 0, then you can say the function is neither increasing nor decreasing function. Now take another example, fx equal to x square, but this time I have changed the domain. This domain is from -5 to 5. If I want to draw the graph of this function, then I can draw like this. and this is x equal to -5, and this is x equal to 5. So this is a function, you can say that in its domain from -5 to 5, once it's going down, and next from 0 it's going up. So this is the function which is not, keeping the fact of either increasing or decreasing. So you can say this function is neither increasing nor decreasing. Why we can say? Because if I draw the tangent here, the tangent if drawn, then slope, if I draw the tangent here, then slope of this will be positive, because if this is theta 1, then tan theta 1 will be greater than 0. And if I draw the tangent here at this point, let's say this point is some this is my x naught, and this is some point, let's say x1. So, and this angle, you can see this is obtuse angle, this is theta 2, and here tan theta 2 will be less than 0. So if you are getting getting this result in which at some point the function is increasing, at some point the function is decreasing, then we say that function is, we can say fx equal to x square is neither increasing nor decreasing. Now last we will see one more thing. Now we'll discuss some problems of exercise 6.2. The first one is show that function f given by fx equal to 3x plus 17 is increasing on R. So now we have two methods of solving this. So I'm using both the method. First one is on the basis of the points of the domain. Let x1 greater than x2. So these are the 2 points, x1 and x2, which belongs to the domain. And if I multiply this by 3 both sides, then I can get 3x1 greater than 3x2. This, and if I add 7, then I'll get 3x1 plus 7, 3x2 plus 7. So you can see this has come as fx1 greater than fx2. So you can see that you started from x1 greater than x2, but you have got that fx1 greater than fx2. So you can say that fx is a strictly increasing function, in its domain, and domain here is R. So this is your first way how you can decide whether function is continuous, strictly increasing or strictly decreasing function. Now here important thing that you remember the inequalities, that if you are multiplying with some positive number, then inequality sign will not change, and if you add some number to the inequality, then the sign of inequality will not change. So basis on that we have found that fx1 greater than fx2. And now second method, this is the first method, you can write here first method, and now this is going to be your second method. Second method is based on the differentiation. So your fx is 3x plus 17, and f dash x if I find, then I'm getting this as 3. You can say this is greater than 0. It means if your derivative is greater than 0, you can straightforwardly say that fx is a strictly increasing function. You have to check always all the points on the domain. So domain is R. You can substitute any value of x here. Your f dash x will always be 3, and which is always greater than 0. So you have to check for all the points. In general, you just check whether it is increasing or not. Sometimes you get a situation in which that f dash x can be less than 0 or it can be greater than 0. That time you have to say that fx is neither increasing nor decreasing, but this time this is the constant number has come which is positive, and so fx is strictly increasing function, you can say. Now show that, this is second question, show that fx equal to e to x is increasing on R. Now you can use any of the method that you want to use. If I'm using first method, if x1 let x1 x2 belongs to R such that x1 greater than x2. So you can see if these are some numbers, you can raise the power also. This you can multiply. Second step you can do, this is 2x1 greater than 2x2, and if you raise in the exponent, then e function, this function is always an increasing function. So e2x1 will be greater than e2x2. So you are getting now fx1 greater than fx2. So you can say that fx is strictly increasing function. Strictly, when we say strictly increasing, it means this sign is strictly greater. If it is equal to, then we simply say this is increasing function, but this time we are getting this is greater than, strictly greater than. Now second method, you see that f dash x, if I find, then it will be e2x, and this is 2. And you must remember that ex is always a positive function for whatever value of x. So here that e2x is always positive and multiplied by some positive number. So it means that your f dash x is going to be greater than 0 for all x belonging to the domain. For all x belongs to, you can say for all x belongs to R. R means the domain. Now it implies that fx is strictly increasing function in R. Now come to question number 3. Fx equal to sin x is increasing function in 0 to pi by 2, and this is strictly decreasing in minus this pi by 2 to pi, and neither increasing nor decreasing in 0 to pi. So we use this derivative test. So f dash x, if I find, then it is cos x, and you know that cos x, it is greater than 0 in 0 to pi by 2. This is the first quadrant, and first quadrant cos x will be positive. So it implies that fx is increasing. So we have written like this, and similarly your f dash x, which is cos x, and this is negative in pi by 2 to pi, which implies that fx is decreasing function. So this is your part A answer, this is part B. But part C is saying that f dash x is neither increasing nor decreasing, because you can see that cos x is also positive and negative is also is negative as well as positive in the interval is 0 to pi. This is the combination of first and second quadrant. So we can say that fx is neither increasing and nor decreasing. So I'm just going to explain this once again. First you find the derivative of sin x. So sin x derivative is cos x, and you can see cos x is always positive in 0 to pi by 2. We are taking this open interval 0 to pi by 2. So it implies that fx is increasing, and f dash x cos x less than 0 in this, then fx is decreasing function, and these are strictly increasing and strictly decreasing. And f dash x is cos x, and it is positive as well as negative in 0 to pi by 2, because this is the combination of first and second quadrant. So fx is neither increasing nor decreasing function.